Good evening, friends and my dear students. So, as we have been discussing conditions in Java, we discussed condition in Java and we compared numbers. And what if we want to compare strings? So, to compare strings in Java, we are going to use some methods, string methods, which are like this. Suppose there is a question that enter the name of the state which is bigger in area of India and print correct if it is Rajasthan. The method compares two strings with regard to case. This is the example. So over here equals I'm going to use. So equals method is basically used to compare two strings and checks the equality. And if the strings are equal which you are comparing, then method returns true, otherwise method returns false. And when you use equals, then in this case the mandatory condition is that both the strings should possess the same case of letter. Means if the string is in capital, then both the strings should be in capital. Like if you have the word like Agra, Delhi, if Delhi you are going to compare the capital of India and you have mentioned Delhi in small and capital letters, then there will be the problem if you are using equals. In equals case, the case of the letters of the word or the sentence or the string should be same which you are going to compare. So over here, this is a question, name the name of the state of India which is bigger in size. So obviously the state is Rajasthan, but when you compare Rajasthan, then comparison word, if you see the program here, I have already written in advance that uh, whichever state you are going to enter should be in caps. Caps means in capital letters. So over here, I have used a scanner object, and with the help of a scanner object, I have entered the state name. And if I enter state Rajasthan, that too in capital letters, then S will have Rajasthan in capital letters, and it compares this string, the entered string which is in S, and the string with which I am going to compare it. So the value S will be compared with the string Rajasthan. So S holds Rajasthan if I enter, and if it is in capital letter, then cases of the strings are matched. Only then it will return true, otherwise it will return false. So over here, if you enter Rajasthan in capital letters, it will print correct. And if you enter Rajasthan, but the cases of the letters are not the same as of Rajasthan, which is given here, not in capital, then definitely it will show the error, and it will come to else statement, because this is capital and your word which you have entered is not in capital letters, and that is why the condition will be wrong, and in that case it will return false, and in false case it is Rajasthan is printed. So see how this works. So output number one, if I enter Rajasthan, so since I have entered Rajasthan, so see here the case of Rajasthan is capital, and I am comparing Rajasthan with this string, so it is true, and that is why it has printed correct. In next case, if I enter say MP, so MP, because MP does not match with this string, it means equals will return false and you'll come to it is Rajasthan. So this is the output. Okay. In the next case, and this time I am going to use another method to compare two strings, equals ignore case. Java, there is the point that if the function or the method composed of multiple words, then the letter of the first word of that function will start with the small letter or lowercase letter, but rest of the word, the first letter of rest of the words will be in cap or in capital letters. So equals ignore case. So equals, the first letter of equals is in lowercase. Ignore, this is second word. First letter of ignore is in capital letter. And third word is case. So first letter of third word is in capital letter. So this way, the method is framed or composed of. So over here, if you are using the same program, means you are going to enter the state, the biggest state or biggest state of the country, and this time I am not comparing using equals. I am going to compare these two words using equals ignore case. So see here. So this is the program. If you enter the name of the largest state of India, and whichever you give will be compared with Rajasthan, and no matter in what format you enter this state. For example, if you enter a state like Rajasthan, it will print correct, and if you enter another word or another string, it will print not correct. So if you entered MP, then it will definitely print it is Rajasthan. And one more thing, as I have told you, that if you have entered or if you enter Rajasthan, first letter capital and rest of the letters are in the small, then it definitely compares two strings and will return true and will print correct. So I can show you it using the program. See here, this is the program, and I am going to use equals ignore case. And this time, as I compile this, there is no error and warning. And when I run, it asks for the state to enter. I am entering Rajasthan, and as soon as I press enter, it says correct. Why correct? Because I have used equals ignore case. So when you see the program over here, I have checked whatever I have entered in as with capital Rajasthan, but this is equals ignore case, and that is why it says it's true, because this is without regard to case, whether this is capital or small, it ignores the case. Equals ignore case ignores the case of the letters. So this way, equals and equals ignore case methods work. Now next is I can also use equal sign, but you will notice here equal sign, even if the strings are equal, the output returns false. See here, there is a word X initialized to literal RAM. There is an identifier N in which I am going to enter or store this string at runtime. And you'll see I will enter the same string like RAM. So X and N will be equal in my point of view or your point of view, because the value of X will be RAM and value of N will also be RAM, because I am going to enter RAM here. But when you run this program, it will come to both strings are not identical. Why so? Though the data of identifiers are the same, so I'm going to compare X and N. So value of X is RAM and the value of N which I'll enter will also be RAM, but this time it will say I have entered here, see, I have entered RAM, and in this case it says though the data of identifiers are the same but the references are different, so it will say strings are not equal. So when you run this program, when you compare X and N, X is RAM and N is also RAM, but it will say both strings are not identical. Why so? So the reason of this is when you use equal sign, it uses references to compare. So the address location of RAM which you have entered here and address location of RAM which you have initialized here, both references will be different, and that is why this condition will be false and it will come to both strings are not identical. But contrary to it, we'll see if this program is changed a bit. Like I have initialized X and Y two identifiers with the same value, and this time you'll notice then if you compare X and Y, this will say both strings are identical because the references of both the variables or the both the literals reference is the same, and that is why when you compare X equals to Y, it will say both strings are identical. Okay, so though X is RAM, Y is also RAM, so the reference of X and Y are similar, and that is why it prints both strings are identical using equal sign. Hope you understand the reference. Hope you understand equals and equals ignore case. So at the places where you want to use equal and when you want to use equals and equals ignore case, you must know it. So with this, I'm going to conclude this. So I hope you understand the concept of address or references and functions equals and equals ignore case. So if you understand that, and if you don't have any doubt, kindly share it with your friends. And if you have not subscribed my channel yet, kindly subscribe it and press the bell icon so that you get the notification of the new video as and when uploaded. So we'll meet in the next video. Till then, bye bye.